Doubles and coffee. You thought April 28th, you're just rid of Keith Christopher Rowley, eh? Well, Rowley's legacy of losing continues. West Indies cricket was just bowled out in a test match in front of the world for the second lowest score in test match history and the West Indies lowest score ever. A paltry 27, all out for 27. Now you all might be saying, Anil, how you bring Rowley in that? But Rowley, what Rowley have to do that? You see, my problem is that I have brilliant recall, a gift given to me by both my mother and father, that I don't forget things easily. You all may forget, but it was just 2 short years ago that CARICOM, in its familial, logical, rationale, chose a loser called Keith Christopher Rowley, who had decimated Trinidad and Tobago's sporting apparatus, to lead the CARICOM chair of cricket July 7th, 2023. You see, all you forget. Unfortunately for me, I don't forget. At that time I said, and you all go back and check Doubles and Coffee, go back and check, it's all there on the public record. I said, CARICOM, you all have to be insane. Cricket, West Indies is already in dire straits, and now you all choose the biggest loser, a man who thrust Shamfaku Joe on the sporting fraternity of Trinidad and Tobago for at that time 7.5 years, and had decimated everything that was created there, systems that were being built to create pathways for our young talented children all across Trinidad and Tobago to be identified, to be developed, to reach their full potential, to earn scholarships, to represent Trinidad and Tobago at CAC Games, Pan American Games, Pan Pacific Games, World Championships, and the Olympics. Rowley decimated all of that, cut sport funding, cut sport development officers, cut sport camps, cut sport in schools, no coaches in schools, no sports science, cut sports management, facilities going down, becoming dilapidated, aquatic center going green, cycling velodrome, air condition breakdown, wood mashing up, leaking, across the board, grounds flooding, no cutting of the grass, no ability for our athletes to excel, teams having to do curricue and barbecue. That was the legacy of Rowley, and CARICOM, with that track record, chose Keith Christopher Rowley to lead the CARICOM chair on cricket. And I said, but you people must really hate the people of West Indies to thrust Rowley upon cricket that was already decimated, cricket that was suffering from a lack of leadership at Cricket West Indies level. Imagine the vice president of Cricket West Indies is Asim Basara, that PNM, who told Rowley he would bring Maruga Tableland to him to bring him to his victory with small pin. Asim Basara, that police all around cricket. Asim Basara, who has the worst constitution, the most undemocratic constitution in cricket, which has left him there. Asim Basara, who took a brilliant Trinidad and Tobago cricket system, left there by Aloy Likwai and even Derek Murray. And I am no fan of Derek Murray with the PNM roots, but when he was there, give Jackie Jacket. Cricket in Trinidad and Tobago was at its highest ebb. Our national team, the Red Force, captained by Darren Ganga with Darren Bravo, Sunil Narayan, Mohammed, Ramdin, Lendell Simmons, come down the line, Rampal, spinners, left, right, and center. We were dominant. We were brilliant. We were even thinking we could take on the world in T20. That was Derek Murray. Then came Asim Basarat. And Trinidad and Tobago cricket and all went down by the wayside, along with Cricket West Indies' theory of giving everything up to CPL in order to create mercenaries and prostitutes of cricket. And on top of all of that, CARICOM in its wisdom chose Keith Christopher Rowley to lead the CARICOM chair of cricket. And now, 2 short years later, Rowley's legacy is exposed for the world to see. West Indies cricket getting bowled out for 27. But it's not all Rowley fault. There's a president of West Indies, Cricket West Indies, called Kishore Shallow. Me, I know the man, but unfortunately, a year and a half ago, I met him. I went to be the feature speaker at the Grenada Football Association. I went to talk to them, to talk to the coaches, about 75 football coaches from across Grenada. Gave them lecture after lecture on one: self-belief. No matter how small your country is, no matter how small your population, you could be, as the Jamaicans say, Talawa. You could bring the best out. I had done it right here in swimming, from Barbados, Leah Martindale, George Bovell, Kerry Ann Gibbs, coming down the line, Chantel McLean, world rank swimmers from right here in Trinidad and Tobago, Aisha Collymore, all of them. And I was telling them, once you believe, once you identify that Caribbean talent and you educate yourself, apply the sports science every day, day in, day out, and you're passionate, you could take from Grenada and take your football team and battle the world. You may not be able to win the World Cup like Brazil and Argentina and Germany and so on, but you could lift up in the CONCACAF and you could be competitive. Start at the grassroots, start at the young level. And I am telling them all of this is possible because of the talent of the Caribbean. Grenada has such talent. Look at that little island winning Olympic medals in throwing, in speed, in 400, Kirani James and so on, coming down the line. You know, a guest speaker came after me. I talked for 2 days, getting my coaches to believe that no matter how small, we are brilliant. And that guest speaker was a man called Kishore Shallow, the president of Cricket West Indies. Me, know if he hadn't paid attention or he didn't know what we had talked about and where we were going, that man stand up and basically talk the exact opposite of what I say for 2 days. He say, well, we can't really win because we are a little bit of people, we 7 million, and we had to battle India, for example, with 1.2 billion. Abject, total nonsense. The man went on and on, making excuse of why we must suck, why we ain't good, why we must lose, why we can't battle. Well, I wasn't due to speak again, but I had to get up. I get up and I watch him in his eye. I say, sir, I'm glad to meet you, but I want to try to convince you that what you believe in your heart and soul is wrong. That first and foremost, West Indies cricket was there already. We're not reinventing the wheel. From 1974 to 1983, we, as small as we are, our population wasn't any bigger. We were the baddest team in the history of the planet. We had won 19, 20, 21 test straight. We had won the World Cup in 75 and 79. Clive Lloyd and his boys with Andy Roberts, Michael Holden, Colin Croft come down the line with batting, with Desmond Haynes, with Viv Richards. That team had dominated the world, and let us all know, whatever sphere we go in, we could be the greatest in the world. I said, sir, we have done it before. We can do it again, but not with a leader like you who doesn't believe it. I said, please change your beliefs. It doesn't matter how many people India have. It don't matter the population of Australia or England. We can battle them because we have the talent, we have the ability. We've just lost our way. We have to find our talented athletes. We have to get them into cricket. We have to get parents to believe and to teach them and to really invest in the development of the children, in coaching, in science, in repetition, in physiology, in psychology. And we can do it because we have the talent. I said, boss man, how many people in India could run sub 10 seconds, 100 meters? He said, I don't know. I said, boss, if they have one, they have plenty out of the 1.2 billion. I said, Grenada have 3. Trinidad and Tobago have 6 or 7. We have, Jamaica have about 40. I said, so there's a difference in the talent pool. So to just say a play a numbers game that our population is small and therefore we must take licks. I said, Mr. Shallow, that is very shallow. But you add shallow to Rowley and you get all out for 27. These things don't happen in a vacuum. When I became Minister of Sport on May 27, 2010, 2 years later in July, Trinidad and Tobago had its greatest performance at the Olympics. Go back and check. We had Keshawn Walcott with gold. We had 3 bronze medals. We had 7 finalists. We had qualification in 6 or 7 sports. The best performance in the history. Why? Because plans take time. Plans take time to develop, and leadership takes time to soak in. The passion, the intelligence, the care, the funding, the planning takes time. When I handed Keshawn Walcott his javelins because the entries didn't want him to train, didn't want to lend him the perfect javelin for Olympic throwing, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Sport in February of 2012 bought, under my recommendation, javelin for Keshawn Walcott to train. Keshawn Walcott then went in early July of 2012 and won the junior world title in javelin. Later on that month, he threw what we can only say as historic, great, passionate Trinbagonian javelin, 84 meters, 58 centimeters to win gold. Because of care, because of planning, because of intelligence, because of talent identification, plans take time to be implemented. So when Rowley was selected 2 years ago, and I said, my goodness, this is the death knell of West Indies cricket. What is CARICOM thinking, putting a total, complete failure in charge of West Indies cricket? Now you know where the 27 all out came from. It didn't come just so. It's a well-planned, well-orchestrated failure led from the top by CARICOM, led by Keith Rowley, Asim Basarat, Kishore Shallow. All of these people must go and must go now.